Imagine you are standing in a coffee shop, ready for your morning caffeine fix. On the menu board, you see two prices listed side by side for the exact same medium latte. One is priced at $3. The other is priced at $2.99. Logically, you know the difference is almost nothing. It is a single, solitary penny, a coin you would probably not even bother to pick up if you saw it on the sidewalk. Yet, when you look at those two prices, they do not feel the same. The $2.99 price somehow feels significantly cheaper, like it belongs to a different, more accessible category of spending. It feels like a deal, a smart choice, a small victory in the daily battle of managing your money. This strange feeling is not a personal quirk. It is a shared, predictable human experience. The gap between $2.99 and $3 is mathematically insignificant, but psychologically, it is a chasm. Our brains do not process these numbers with the cold, hard logic of a calculator. Instead, we react to them emotionally, using mental shortcuts that have been ingrained in us over time. That single cent acts as a powerful lever, shifting our perception of value in a way that really defies simple arithmetic. The jump from a price starting with a 2 to 1 starting with a 3 feels far more substantial than a mere penny should ever warrant. It is the first clue that when it comes to money, our minds are playing tricks on us. This phenomenon is the cornerstone of what marketers call charm pricing or psychological pricing. It is a deliberate strategy designed to appeal to our irrational tendencies rather than our rational minds. The retailer is not just trying to save you a penny, they are trying to frame their product in a more favorable light. They understand that your brain is not going to sit down and perform a detailed cost-benefit analysis for every small purchase. Instead, you are going to glance at the price, get a quick feel for it, and make a decision. That feeling is profoundly influenced by the numbers you see, especially the very first one. The 1 cent illusion demonstrates a fundamental truth about human decision-making. We are not always the logical creatures we believe ourselves to be. Our choices are often guided by subtle cues, hidden biases, and automatic responses that operate below the surface of our conscious awareness. The difference between $2.99 and $3 is a perfect, everyday example of this principle in action. It shows how a seemingly trivial detail can have a disproportionate impact on our perception, and ultimately, our behavior. Understanding this quirk is the key to unlocking why, even in our modern, data-driven world, an old-fashioned pricing trick continues to hold so much power over us. Walk through any store, scroll through any online marketplace, or flip through any catalog, and you will see it everywhere. Prices ending in 99 cents, 95 cents, or simply the number 9 are not a coincidence. They are a rule. From a $9.99 monthly subscription to a $499 television, this pricing strategy is one of the most persistent and widespread tactics in the history of retail. But why has it survived for so long? Why, in an age where consumers are supposedly more savvy and informed than ever, does this simple trick continue to work so effectively? The answer lies not in clever marketing alone, but in the fundamental architecture of our brains and how we process numerical information. The use of prices ending in 9 is not a new invention. It is a practice that dates back over a century, with competing theories about its origin. One popular story suggests it was first implemented to force cashiers to open the register to give change, thereby reducing employee theft. By pricing an item at 99 cents instead of $1, the cashier had to ring up the sale and give the customer a penny back, creating a record of the transaction. While this may have been an initial benefit, the strategy's true power was soon discovered to be its effect not on employees, but on customers. It simply made people more likely to buy things, and its use exploded across the retail landscape. This pricing method is so common that we have almost become numb to it. We see a price like $19.99, and we might consciously round it up to $20. We tell ourselves that we are not fooled by such an obvious ploy. Yet, the data tells a different story. Time and time again, experiments have shown that items priced with a 9 at the end outsell identical items priced at the next whole number, even when the price is slightly higher. For example, an item priced at $39 often sells better than the same item priced at $34. The number 9 seems to possess a magical quality, signaling value and affordability in a way that other numbers do not. The reason for its enduring success is that it taps into a cognitive shortcut that is both powerful and automatic. It works because it bypasses our deliberative, logical thinking and appeals directly to our faster, more intuitive judgment. It is not that we are unintelligent, it is that our brains are incredibly efficient. To navigate the countless decisions we face every day, we rely on these mental shortcuts or heuristics to guide us. The number 9 has become one of the most powerful heuristics in the world of commerce. A silent signal that whispers, "This is a good deal," directly to the non-conscious parts of our mind that are really in charge. The primary reason that a price like $9.99 feels so much cheaper than $10 is a cognitive bias known as the left digit effect. Our brains, in their quest for efficiency, read from left to right. When we process a number, the first digit we see acts as an anchor, disproportionately influencing our perception of the number's overall magnitude. We do not fully process the entire sequence of digits with equal weight. Instead, that first digit on the left creates an immediate impression, and the subsequent digits, the 99 cents, are given less importance. They are processed, but they do not have the power to entirely undo the initial anchor set by the first number. Think about how you read a price tag. You glance at it quickly. In that fraction of a second, your brain registers the 9 in $9.99 and anchors your perception of value in the single-digit range. The 9 feels fundamentally different and smaller than the 10 in $10. Even though you consciously know the difference is just 1 cent, the initial automatic encoding of the number has already done its work. The price has been mentally sorted into the $9 category instead of the $10 category. This mental categorization happens so quickly and automatically that it often precedes our conscious, rational thought, shaping our feelings about the price before we have even had a chance to think about it. This effect is a byproduct of how we learn to count and understand numbers. We are taught that numbers with more digits are larger, and that the first digit is the most significant indicator of magnitude. A price of $1,000 is obviously much larger than $999. The left digit effect is simply an over-application of this useful rule. Our brain takes a shortcut, applying the logic that the first digit matters most, even when the actual difference is minimal. This anchoring effect is incredibly robust. It persists even when we are aware of it, demonstrating the power of our automatic cognitive processes over our more deliberate, logical reasoning. So, when a retailer prices an item at $9.99, they are not just making it 1 cent cheaper. They are strategically manipulating the anchor point for your perception of its cost. They are keeping the price within a lower psychological threshold. Crossing from $9.99 to $10 is not just a 1 cent increase, it is a jump across a mental boundary. It is the difference between a single-digit price and a double-digit price. This jump feels significant, even when it is not. The left-digit effect is the silent engine driving the success of charm pricing, a perfect example of how our brain's shortcuts can be used to influence our economic choices. For a long time, traditional economics was built on the idea of the rational consumer. This theoretical person, often called Homo economicus, makes decisions with perfect logic. They carefully weigh all the pros and cons, calculate the utility of every choice, and act in their own best interest with flawless precision. According to this model, a trick like pricing something at $9.99 instead of $10 should have absolutely no effect. The rational shopper would see the 1 cent difference for what it is, trivial, and behave accordingly. However, if you look at how real people behave in the real world, it becomes immediately clear that we are not these perfectly rational beings. Our daily lives are a whirlwind of choices. From what to eat for breakfast, to which route to take to work, to what to buy at the store, we are constantly making decisions. If we were to apply rigorous logical analysis to every single one of these choices, we would be paralyzed. We would not even make it out the door in the morning. To cope with this complexity, our brain operates using 2 different systems, as described by psychologist Daniel Kahneman. There is System 2, our slow, deliberate, and logical mind. This is the part of you that solves a math problem. But most of the time, we rely on System 1, our fast, intuitive, and emotional mind. System 1 is the star of the show when we are shopping. It makes snap judgments based on feelings, past experiences, and simple rules of thumb. The left digit effect is a classic System 1 shortcut. It provides a quick and easy way to judge a price without having to engage the more effortful System 2. When you see $2.99, your fast-thinking brain immediately feels that it is in the $2 range, and that feeling is often enough to guide your decision. You do not stop to calculate the percentage difference between $2.99 and $3. You just feel that one is a bargain and the other is not. This reliance on gut feelings and intuition is not a flaw. It is a feature of our cognitive design that allows us to function efficiently. Marketers and retailers understand this reality far better than many classical economists do. They know that most purchasing decisions are not made in a state of deep contemplation. They are made quickly, often in a distracting environment, under time pressure. Therefore, they design their pricing, packaging, and store layouts to appeal to our fast, intuitive system mind. Charm pricing works precisely because it targets this system. It creates a feeling of value that is immediate and powerful, influencing our choice before our slower, more rational mind has a chance to step in and object. The myth of the rational shopper is just that, a myth. In reality, we are all predictably irrational. Once you start looking for charm pricing, you will see it absolutely everywhere. It is a fundamental part of the retail environment, woven into the fabric of our daily economic lives. Take a simple trip to the supermarket. Walk down the cereal aisle, and you will not see neat prices like $4 or $5. Instead, you will be greeted by a festival of nines, $3.99 for one brand, $4.79 for another, and a special on-sale price of $2.49. These prices are carefully calibrated to make you feel like you are getting a good deal. The price of produce, sold by the pound, might be $1.99. The rotisserie chicken, a classic impulse buy, is almost always priced at something like $4.99, anchoring it firmly below the $5 psychological barrier. The strategy extends far beyond the physical aisles of a grocery store and into the digital realm of our smartphones. Open any app store and look at the pricing for subscriptions or premium features. You will rarely find a service that costs a flat $5 per month. Instead, it will be offered at $4.99 per month, or perhaps an annual plan for $49.99. This pricing makes the commitment feel smaller and more manageable. The difference between $4.99 and $5 is negligible over the course of a year, but the initial impression it creates can be the deciding factor for a user who is on the fence about whether to click the subscribe button. It frames the purchase as a small, insignificant expense, rather than a round, more substantial number. Even the experience of dining out is shaped by this pricing psychology. Restaurant menus are masterpieces of subtle persuasion, and charm pricing plays a leading role. A steak might be priced at $29, a pasta dish at $17, and a dessert at $8. Notice that they often drop the 99 and even the dollar sign, a technique known as nesting the price. A price listed as $29 feels less imposing and less like a direct transaction than one listed as $29. By using a number just below a round figure, like 29 instead of 30, the restaurant leverages the left-digit effect to make the dish seem more reasonably priced, encouraging you to spend a little more freely. These examples from supermarkets, app stores, and restaurants all highlight the same core principle. Whether the product is a box of cookies, a digital service, or a plate of food, the way its price is presented influences our perception of its value. These businesses are not just selling products, they are selling feelings. They are using charm pricing to create a feeling of affordability, a sense of getting a good deal, and a gentle nudge to encourage a purchase. It is a silent and subtle conversation happening between the seller and your intuitive, fast-thinking brain. And it takes place every single day, in almost every transaction you make. One might assume that the rise of online shopping, with its price comparison tools and endless information, would make consumers immune to old-fashioned tricks like charm pricing. The modern digital shopper can, with just a few clicks, compare the price of a product across dozens of retailers. Surely, this increased transparency and access to data would empower our rational minds and render the left-digit effect obsolete. However, the opposite seems to be true. The very nature of the online environment, with its speed, endless scrolling, and information overload, can actually make these psychological pricing tactics even more powerful and effective than they are in a physical store. Think about the experience of online shopping for a moment. You are often presented with a grid or a list of dozens, if not hundreds, of similar products at once. Your screen is a visual cacophony of images, names, ratings, and prices. In this environment, you really do not have the time or mental energy to carefully analyze every single option. Instead, you scan. Your eyes dart across the page, looking for cues that will help you quickly filter the results. A price that starts with a 4, like $49.99, instantly stands out as being in a different league from one that starts with a 5, such as $50. The left-digit effect becomes a crucial tool for rapid sorting in a cluttered digital space. Furthermore, the digital checkout process is designed for speed and convenience, which actually encourages us to rely on our fast, intuitive thinking. Features like one-click buying remove friction from the transaction, giving our slower, more deliberative brain less time to intervene. When you see an item for $9.99 and can buy it instantly with a single tap, you are less likely to pause and reflect on the true cost. The seamless nature of the process means that the initial, anchored impression created by the charm price often carries all the way through to the final purchase without being challenged by more rational thought. The path of least resistance is to trust your gut feeling, and that feeling has already been shaped by the price's first digit. The digital world also allows for rapid A/B testing on a massive scale. Online retailers can test different price points on thousands of customers in real time to see what works best. They can test $19.99 versus $20 versus $20.50 and get immediate data on which price generates the most sales. This constant experimentation has repeatedly confirmed the power of charm pricing. Far from disproving it, big data has validated it, refining its use. The result is an online landscape where psychological pricing is not just a habit, but a data-driven strategy, optimized to appeal to our most predictable cognitive biases. In this environment, the old trick is not just surviving, it is thriving. While charm pricing is a powerful tool for signaling value and affordability, it is not a one-size-fits-all solution. In fact, for a certain category of goods, using a price that ends in 99 cents can be a disastrous mistake. Imagine you are in the market for a high-end, handcrafted Swiss watch or a designer handbag. You have saved up and are ready to make a significant investment in a product known for its quality, prestige, and exclusivity. You walk into a beautifully designed minimalist boutique and you see the item you desire. But instead of a price like $5,000, the tag reads $4,999.99. Suddenly, the entire experience feels a little off. For luxury brands, the goal is not to signal a bargain. It is to signal the exact opposite: quality, exclusivity, and status. The psychology at play is entirely different. A customer buying a luxury item is not primarily motivated by saving money. They are motivated by the desire for superior craftsmanship, a powerful brand story, and the feeling of prestige that comes with the purchase. In this context, a price ending in 99 cents sends the wrong message. It feels cheap, discount-oriented, and kind of desperate. It undermines the very sense of quality and exclusivity that the brand has worked so hard to build. A clean, round number, like $5,000 or $10,000, feels more honest, confident, and aligned with the product's premium positioning. This is because round numbers are processed more fluently by our brains. They feel right and complete. For purchases that are driven by emotion and a desire for the best, this feeling of rightness is crucial. A complex price like $4,999.99 requires a little more cognitive effort to process, and that small bit of mental friction can create a subtle feeling of unease. It pulls the customer out of the emotional experience of buying something special and forces them into a more calculating mindset, which is precisely what luxury brands want to avoid. They want the purchase to feel like a heartfelt indulgence, not a calculated transaction where every dollar and cent matters. Therefore, the effectiveness of a pricing strategy depends entirely on what is being sold and to whom. Charm pricing, with its 9s and 99-cent endings, is the language of value, deals, and mass-market accessibility. It works best for brands that compete on price and want to be perceived as affordable. Round numbers, on the other hand, are the language of luxury, quality, and prestige. They work best for brands that compete on image and want to be perceived as exclusive. The choice between a price like $99 and $100 is not just a choice about $1. It is a fundamental strategic decision about what the brand stands for and what message it wants to send to its customers. A price tag is never just a number floating in a void. Its power to influence us depends heavily on the entire context in which we encounter it. The effectiveness of a charm price like $9.99 is not an isolated phenomenon. It is amplified or diminished by a host of other signals in the shopping environment. These contextual cues work together to create a cohesive story about the product's value, and the price is just one chapter in that story. If the context does not support the message of the price, the trick can easily fail. A price ending in 99 cents works best when it is surrounded by other signals of a bargain. Think about the typical discount store. The lighting is often bright and functional, the products are stacked high in simple shelving, and large, bold signs shout words like sale, clearance, or low prices. In this environment, a price of $19.99 feels completely natural. It fits the narrative. The price, the signs, and the store's overall atmosphere all work in harmony to tell the customer, you are in a place where you can find great deals. The charm price reinforces the message that the store is on the consumer's side, helping them save money. The entire selling environment primes the customer to be receptive to the psychological pull of a price ending in 9. Now, place that same $19.99 price tag in a different context. Imagine a quiet, upscale boutique with soft lighting, plush carpets, and carefully curated displays where each item is given its own space. Here, a price tag of $19.99 would feel jarring and out of place. It would clash with the surrounding signals of quality, care, and luxury. In this environment, a simple, clean price like $20 would be far more effective because it aligns with the story the store is trying to tell. The context creates expectations, and the price must meet those expectations to be believable and persuasive. The number itself is only part of the equation. This principle shows that psychological pricing is a delicate dance. It only works when the price ending is consistent with the brand's identity, the store's atmosphere, the product's packaging, and the customer's expectations. A fast food chain can successfully sell a value meal for $4.99 because everything about the experience, from the plastic trays to the quick service, is designed around speed and affordability. A fine dining restaurant cannot do the same. The power of the 99-cent ending is not inherent in the number itself, but in its ability to fit seamlessly into a larger narrative of value. When all the contextual cues line up, the small detail of a price ending becomes incredibly powerful. In the end, the enduring power of prices like $9.99 reveals a fundamental and comforting truth about human nature. We are not robots. Our decisions are not always the product of cold, hard calculation. They are shaped by perception, emotion, and the beautifully efficient, if sometimes illogical, shortcuts our brains use to navigate a complex world. The fact that we can know, on a rational level, that $9.99 is essentially $10, and yet still feel that it is cheaper, is a testament to the powerful influence of our intuitive minds. This is not a sign of failure, but a feature of our cognitive design. We are built to make decisions quickly, and small design choices can profoundly shape those decisions. The left-digit effect is not a marketing fad, it is a cognitive reality. Our tendency to anchor on the first number we see is a deep-seated bias that retailers have learned to leverage with remarkable success. By pricing an item just below a round number, they are not just changing the price. They are changing the psychological category it belongs to. They are shifting it from the $10 pile to the $9 pile in our minds, and that initial automatic classification has a lasting impact on how we perceive its value. This simple maneuver works across supermarkets, app stores, and countless other retail environments, especially in the fast-paced, information-dense world of online shopping. However, it is crucial to remember that this is a tool for a specific job. Charm pricing is the language of value, and is most effective for products and brands that want to be seen as affordable and accessible. For the world of luxury, where the goal is to communicate prestige and uncompromising quality, a different language is needed. There, clean, round numbers speak of confidence and integrity, reinforcing the premium nature of the product. The choice of a price ending is a strategic declaration of a brand's identity, signaling to the consumer what they should expect long before they ever touch the product itself. So, the next time you find yourself choosing a product priced at $9.99, take a moment to appreciate the subtle forces at play. You are witnessing a powerful interaction between a century-old retail trick and millions of years of cognitive evolution. The price is imperfect, just shy of a whole number. And it works because we, as decision makers, are also beautifully and predictably imperfect. We rely on feelings and shortcuts to make our way through the day, and that small, 1-cent gap is designed to fit perfectly into the space between our rational thoughts and our intuitive feelings. Even when we know the trick, it still works.